Hello and welcome to episode 88 of the Critical Twits Gaming Podcast, where we return to Malifaux and play a tournament with the worst masters in the game. Hello and welcome back to the Critical Twits. I'm Brian Ennis.
And I'm Aaron Ravitsky.
And we have been playing Malifaux again, haven't we, Aaron?
Yes.
Excellent. That was more of a closed question, wasn't it?
It was a little bit. And I also can't really say it again because I don't play it much.
You've played it before.
It's true.
Played it since, therefore you're playing it again.
Yeah. Although it's technically my first tournament because I missed the other one.
Yes, it is. Oh, that's interesting. So we can talk a little bit about some of the tournament things. So yeah, the last time we talked about Malifaux, we just played our first ever tournament. But living in the swamp that is the Fens, we kind of had to arrange our own tournament with our own local gaming scene.
Yeah.
And then people didn't turn up.
Yeah.
And so there are only 4 of us. This time, we managed 6 people for our tournament.
Yay!
And we're starting to sort of grow in confidence because we're playing more Malifaux and playing under time limits, which I think is something we could discuss again. We talked about it a little bit last time, but that could be good because tournament gaming is very different to normal gaming, casual gaming. That's the term, isn't it? The flip side of the card.
Yes.
The back of the card.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I was trying to make it Malifaux based, and it didn't really work.
Well, it kind of works.
More of a coin analogy, isn't it?
Coins, cards, all the same thing.
Yes, we'll just flip coins for Malifaux in future. So we promised it this last time, I think. Looking back at what we did, we have taken a cue from a gaming shop far, far away.
Which could be any gaming shop for us, but
yeah, because we live in a swamp.
Yeah,
obviously. This time it was I ran out of sentence because I was just checking my notes. Clicked the wrong button. One of our local players, Chris. Hi, Chris. Hey, how you doing? He's kind of been leading the push, as we mentioned last time. He's our newest player, and that sort of burst of enthusiasm for the game is what's kind of pushed us into playing more.
Yeah,
and it was his suggestion that we take a leaf out of the book, a card out of the deck, of Huzzah Hobbies in Ashburn, Virginia, who are running a tournament for Malifaux called Burst of the Worst, which is not where you over-grill a German sausage without pricking it and have a barbecue-related blindness incident.
Well done.
It was all right, wasn't it? Yeah. I thought of that just now. I've been trying to think of a joke all day and didn't come up with one.
That's good.
Pressure makes diamonds. Also makes wine. Yes, so the idea of the tournament is to play the masters from each faction that are seen by the community. I think there was a vote.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't trust them. Maybe one master got more seats but didn't win the popular vote. I don't understand.
First past the soul stone.
Yes, that almost makes sense. It's too democratic for Malifaux. It's not a democratic place. Maybe the Arcanists.
Yeah.
The idea is to take the 2 masters from each faction, and give you a choice of those, the ones that are considered to be rubbish. Ooh. So, Aaron, you've memorised these off by heart. So, in your own time. I say this with the safety and security of a man who has them written down in front of him and had to go and find them, because I remember what we played.
Yeah,
but there are only 6 of us and there are 7 factions, 14 masters. So for the Arcanists, Kairis and Ironsides were deemed to be unworthy. For Gremlins, Mar Tucket and Ulix. For Guild, Lady Justice and Hoffman. For Neverborn, Zoraida and Lucius. So you could take Lucius, but you'd have to play him as Neverborn, not as Guild.
Which is interesting.
Guild have better minions for him. But yeah, I think it's a balancing thing as well. For Outcasts, Von Schill and Parker. For Resurrectionists, Tara and Sheamus. So again, Tara being played as a Reza, not as an Outcast. And then Ten Thunders, they're all complicated. But we had Mizaki and Yan Lo. Now, those who've listened to us before, when we have talked about Malifaux, will know that not only is Aaron a big fan of Mizaki, that's not an Oiran joke. Oiran. I haven't done that in ages. That Chris, last time we did the tournament, didn't do so well and played Yan Lo.
Yeah.
So that maybe that's why he decided, if I'm going to play something that's considered suboptimal,
Everybody else can too.
yeah, everyone else can too. Although he didn't play Yan Lo this time.
No.
But you did play Mizaki, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that that's predictable in any way, shape,
Do you actually own any other Masters, Aaron?
No.
How long have you been playing Malifaux?
I don't know, about 2 years. 3. Okay.
I just gave Aaron 3 fingers then, just to remind him how long it's been. That's fine though. Everyone commits to games differently.
Yeah. I was poor for those 3 years.
You were a dirty, stinking student.
Yeah.
Wash more.
And then I wouldn't have been able to afford even Saki.
So yeah, you played Mizaki.
Yep.
I was gonna play Von Schill. I actually own quite a lot of these Masters.
Yes.
Because I think it's like a karmic thing. The less models you buy, the more models I buy. Didn't I buy you Mizaki
Yeah, probably.
for Christmas when we got started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've actually ever bought a model for Malifaux. I must have done, surely, but
You bought the man with his trousers falling down.
yeah.
Yeah. Who we'll come to later. So yeah, I own Lucius, Von Schill. I only own 2. Do I only own 2? Oh, that's actually rubbish.
Oh.
Oh, I'm stunned by my lack of thing. Yeah, I actually only own 2 of those, Von Schill and Lucius. So they were my choices, and I despise Lucius with every fibre of my being because he is awful. Whereas I actually think that Von Schill is quite good, and was glad to see him on the list. But that's not really in the spirit of the adventure. So after a little bit of prompting from Chris, he lent me his Parker to play. So I fully intended in the 6 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks between tournaments, to have played a couple practice games. Life got weird and difficult and strange.
Yeah.
Which I should be used to. I've been described at various points as weird, difficult and strange. But I didn't get a chance to play. So I turned up on the day playing Parker.
Yeah.
Without having ever played him before.
I think that was probably safe for everybody but me.
No, I know that Chris, who was playing Tara this time, and Joe, who was playing Ironsides, and the Funky Bullshit Clan, as I have named them, as we will talk about later. Ironsides and Tara, they played a game.
Oh, okay, cool.
A practice game, because they came round to my flat and played a practice game while
You got to stare at it longingly.
A little bit, yeah. They couldn't play where they were going to, so I'm a great guy basically. Hit me up after the show, people. No, I know they played a practice game. Yeah. I know Rob, who's played Hoffman. Who played Hoffman? He's played Hoffman before because he's played Hoffman against me before.
Oh, okay.
And didn't have an enjoyable time, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And Colin, who's still alive, we lied, was playing Sheamus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he has played Sheamus before, but
I don't think he's played Sheamus before. Again, I think he borrowed them from Chris.
Yeah.
Chris seems to have a habit of buying all the terrible models.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think will be our first point then, and we can talk a little bit about that list. Are there any models on that list that we think don't belong there, or are so bad that you wouldn't even pick them anyway?
I don't know about so bad. I mean, I know you really dislike Lucius, but
I think I dislike Lucius because when I first played Lucius, I'd never lost a game of Malifaux, and I lost my first game, and maybe I threw my toys out the pram slightly.
Maybe.
I haven't actually played Lucius since he was errated. I think it was last year he got new cards. So I have the new cards because I've got the model. I thought I'd get the cards, but I just haven't picked him back up.
Yeah.
His abilities are a lot easier to get off and such like. He's become more sensitive.
I don't really know. Saying they don't belong there, I can see the reason why they're all kind of there. I don't think any of them are this bad inherently. I think they're just very difficult to get working well.
I think a lot of them are fiddly.
Yes.
Like Zoraida can do all sorts of crazy damage with her voodoo dolls, but she's got to create the voodoo doll, curse a model, do the damage.
Yeah.
Ironsides I think Ironsides is really good, and we'll come to what we think of, after the tournament.
Yeah.
Later, but is still fiddly in the sense that she runs off of her own condition of adrenaline.
Yeah.
That you have to kind of build up.
Mm-hmm.
I get the impression that she's quite sort of high risk reward.
Yes.
Because you can generate a lot of adrenaline by getting up really close to loads of enemy models, but do you really want your master getting jumped on by a bunch of people shouting dogpile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the same for models like Tara, who at range is difficult as fuck, but up close is spongy.
Yeah, Tara felt quite brittle in our games.
And Misaki has the same problem as well. She's described as cruise missile, and a lot of things I've been reading on her. Yeah. Send her in, smash something, get destroyed.
Yes. Which
is difficult to deal with if you're used to playing a game where your master's the thing that survives and does the most interesting stuff during the course of a game. So there's this balance between sort of these brittle, spongy models and ones that have got complex mechanics to play off. So I think for newer players, these models are probably best avoided.
Lady Justice is an unusual one. I'm not sure
don't really know
considered
Lady
so bad. Yeah, I've again, a lot of these we've not played with her against because we have quite a small scene here, but I like the look of Lady Justice. I'd happily pick up her pack and give her a go. So she's not really particularly stunning in any way.
Yeah.
She's sort of she's a bit like Lilith with less tricks.
Right.
She's got a great sword, but not a lot else going for her.
Yeah.
We used we picked masters in advance, and everyone knew what everyone had picked. Mm-hmm. We weren't sticking with the same crews like last time.
No.
Instead, we played 50 Soulstone games, 2 tournament times, so 2 hours and 5 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, I think we stretched it to 15.
Oh, did we give it an extra 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we're rubbish. But for us, that's good.
Yeah.
See all previous podcasts where we talk about how long Malifaux takes us to play.
Yeah.
So we were up against the time limit.
Yeah.
And we used Gamergate 2017.
Oh, God.
Gaining Grounds 2017. God, a rogue Milo has appeared. We used Gaining Grounds 2017 schemes and strategies, and we also allowed access to the brand new upgrades, which have been put in place to try to balance these masters a little bit.
Yes.
So maybe we should have played them without. I don't know, but it's the brand new thing. It's only just come out in Broken Promises.
So we wanted to try them out and see. I mean, if they needed balancing, there was clearly issues there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've played against a few of the few of these I've played against. I mean, Misaki, I've never seen the appeal and don't think she's very good. Tara can do some amazing tricks with
burying models
and bombing the Nothing Beast out of nothing.
Yeah.
To beast you. That's why it's called the Nothing Beast. It's nothing, then it beasts. That's a verb. But possibly better in Outcasts because of the options and choices that are available to her.
Yeah.
Von Schill, I like Von Schill. I only played a couple games with Von Schill, but I think he kind of suffers from the sense that, again, he doesn't hit particularly hard. He's quite survivable.
Yeah.
He's just not really good at one thing, so you can't build a focus around one thing. And actually, looking at this, quite a few of these work on sort of buffing other models or work synergistically with other models. So Von Schill makes the minions, the Frycore minions, better.
Yeah.
Because they want to impress him, so they don't die as quickly, as we all do when we're near someone that we like. I've got something to live for, Jeff's here. So he's a bit like Lucius. Lucius works by giving lots of activations to other models, but their minions and minion activations aren't as good as master activations normally. Normally you're better off with a master that does a really good thing and using its AP for that.
Yeah.
You're getting some of the more mediocre activations piled up. Although I think I could make Lucius work now.
Yeah.
But in Guild. Might be wise in the Neverborn side, but
yeah.
Some of the Witchling models, the new ones, work quite well with him. Yeah, stuff you can do. Hoffman as well relies on doing all kinds of really weird synergy things to steal the abilities of other models and steal the stat numbers of other models. But then they all have to sit together in a big bubble and get blasted to death.
Yes.
So, not so good.
Sheamus is pretty much the same with a lot of bouncing around of stuff off models.
Yeah, I didn't get to play Sheamus in the end.
Yeah. Lots of poison bullshit from what I remember.
Yeah. All I really know about Sheamus is a really good gun, but he can only fire it once.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yes.
Ridiculously good. Like the damage it does on that is you only need to fire it once generally.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
And the other thing I know about Sheamus is that if you can't see him, he can teleport.
Yeah.
I did play Sheamus. I did play Sheamus! Because he didn't get to teleport. My God, what am I talking about?
It's made no impression on you, clearly.
It has. I remember the game now. It was the one that I did really badly and then still managed to scrape a victory. Spoiler alert. Okay, so what were your thoughts going in then, Aaron? Picking a Mizaki crew, a difficult proposition for you.
I thought I'd have the best chance at winning for once.
Yeah, I think genuinely you were considered tournament favourite because you'd played Mizaki the most. You played your master the most. I'd never played Parker. Everyone else had a couple games or less, and you'd have you've had quite a few games with Mizaki. You've bought models that work with her specifically to make her work. Were there any key models that you think to make Mizaki pop?
I'm trying to think. The Samurai was a nice choice.
Yeah.
Didn't get to do as much as I would have liked because it was the first time I used the Samurai.
Yeah.
So I messed up a few things. But makes a nice clean-up crew.
Is the Samurai the one with the big Gatling gun?
Yes.
On its shoulder?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's actually much better at melee and can do a lot of bouncing around through things.
Yeah, your entire faction seems to
do zipping bounce. The Wako Raiders.
Wakao.
However you pronounce it.
Should we go with Waku?
Yeah.
Waku Raiders, yeah.
I think they've been massively useful since I got them. I think any 10 funders crew they're going to be useful in though because they do a lot of scheme markery bullshit and are quick and quite tough and reasonably strong. They're good little models. And they also don't cost 8. Actually, no, I think they do still cost high, but they're good for what they justify their price.
Yeah, I always look at you putting out your 2.3 models opposite my enormous crew, and just wonder what exactly you're paying for as a 10 Thunders player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what exactly are you paying for?
I don't know. I really don't know. No, with them, I can understand it. They're survivable. You don't want to get them like on their own in middle combat, but they can survive pot shots and things like that, and they can run off and do all the ski marker bullshit you need to.
Yes.
10 Thunders Brothers have been massively useful as well.
Yes. I love those brothers models because there's 2 that are almost identical and then one that's obviously been adopted and isn't related to the other 2 no matter how much they call him brother.
Yeah.
Because you've got like the 2 kind of live like dancey ones and then the guy with the hammer that's like
paunch and
that's chunky as hell.
Yeah.
Yes, they're crime syndicate brothers rather than actual brothers, but it just makes me laugh.
It's more fun to think them that way.
Oh, we better put 3 in this box. Oh, well, the guy who sculpted the first 2 died in a fire. Okay, Jeff, you got any? I made a fat guy earlier. We'll just have him. It's fine.
Oh yes.
The black sheep of the family. There's definitely a Ten Thunders pun based around the black sheep there, but I can't find it. But, you know, insert your own and have a laugh at home. Yeah. Or in the pub, on the street, in your car, wherever you're listening to this podcast. At a social gathering that's making you awkward.
Because you're getting confused over which conversation you're listening to, us or the people around you, yeah.
Us, always us, we're much better. Yeah. So, were you of the mind, because I know Joe came into this where he picked a crew of 50 Soulstone and just used it for everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Mostly because, again, I don't have the model pool selection as much as anybody else, and I tend to build things universally. Because I didn't necessarily understand what all the new masters, because they were new to me. Yeah. What other people would take, and I went, cool, what can pretty much cope with anything?
Yeah. I think it's interesting to play against a lot of masters that you haven't played against before. Because, they do things that you don't expect. Yeah. And that can be mitigated with a bit of research, but we're more fast and loose on the preparation here at Critical Twits HQ.
Yes.
Asterix. Space, asterisk, not a real place. Yeah, I took the opposite approach. Yeah. So I custom built my crew each time for each scheme pool. And I started with my first game just trying out pretty much all of his thematic models. So playing my first game against Tara, I took Parker, I took his totem, the Doctor. I took Mad Dog. Mad Dog is so good. I might spend 5 to 7 minutes talking all about Mad Dog in a bit. Alongside those, I took Bandidos and a Dead Outlaw. And a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. A bunch of other stuff. Well, was there anything else? I think that used up my... No, I took Lazarus. So, I decided Parker has a very shooting-heavy crew, so in order to balance it out, I'd bring a really shooting-heavy model.
Obviously, yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
And that was quite an interesting game. But I really felt handicapped by the fact that I was still struggling to get my head around the master in that first game. Yeah. Didn't really know all that I was doing. I had listened to... There's a really good podcast... from Schemes and Stones that goes through. It just come out like 3 days before the tournament and they do master reviews in far greater detail than we could ever do. Yeah, and they're really, really useful. So go listen to them, but later, not now. Stay, sit, boo boo, sit. Oh, that's the end, isn't it? If I say sit, boo boo, sit, everyone's just had a reflex action and turned over to a different channel.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, there's some quite funky stuff with Parker. So for those who don't know, Parker's shtick is a pointy one, and he pokes it in your eye. Yeah. No, his thing is that he attaches and unattaches upgrades. So he's a bit like Lucas McCabe in that sense. He does a lot of throwing stuff around, but Parker does it differently. He does the bandit thing of holding you up and making you drop schemes, and then he picks them up and turns them into loot. He discards them and then reattaches them later. So there's kind of a risk reward thing in how you do it. So I always took an upgrade of his called. So I take Stick Up, an upgrade that lets him take a free walk if he discards it. Now, whenever he discards an upgrade, his limited supplies ability lets him add a soulstone to his soulstone pool. He can then generate a scheme marker off an enemy using various tricksy means, and then he can discard that to do stuff using other tricksy means, and then because he has the black market upgrade, he gains another soulstone. So actually Parker works really well in having lots of soulstones. He's got 14 wounds. He can reduce a lot of damage by using soulstones. And he can also... I realised later, he benefits from having a lot of other models in his crew that can use soul stones. If you take a couple of henchmen rather than, say, the one you'd normally take, you're getting more soul stones, and you can kind of throw them out to others to cheat for suits or take damage. Or I ended up pretty much every turn knowing I was going to get more soul stones, getting an extra 2 cards for my control hand.
Yeah.
Which was good, because control hand stuff is good.
Yes.
I love stuff that manipulates control hands.
It's apparently the tournament standard. It's the move everybody makes for at least the first 2 turns.
Yeah, which I don't get, because I always think you're very rarely going to be flipping cards in the first turn. So you may as well just discard the rubbish ones, keep the good ones, and then you've had 2 turns of draw. I suppose 2 turns of draw with 2 extra cards each time.
Yeah.
You've got some really, really good stuff. And have one really glorious turn 3 and then run out of cards. I do tend to run out of cards quite regularly.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm using them too much.
Possibly.
So yeah, that's Parker's thing. Now, my first game against Tara did not go particularly well, and I got quite frustrated because Tara does a lot of shenanigans, and I wasn't really up to shenanigans first thing in the morning against a time limit with a master I'd never played. But I took it gracefully, didn't I, Aaron? I acted with decorum, wisdom, and a kind of certain almost spectral grace.
Yeah, you didn't throw the cards at anybody.
No, I didn't. I threw them at the floor. I can't even speak. I'm getting so angry just thinking about it. I threw my black joker across the room several times because I kept seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
I went full tilt. It's fine.
Yeah, I think all of us felt like that at some point during every tournament we're going to ever play. I think is going to be a thing. Yeah. I didn't get frustrated in my first game. I found it more funny.
Who and what were you playing?
I was playing against Colin.
Okay, so against Sheamus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now one of the new upgrades I took for Misaki.
Yes.
Which I'll just remind myself. It's Risk or Reward, I think, is the name.
Yeah.
Which allows me at the start of a turn, before declaring for drawing new extra cards, to get rid of put any soul stones to one side so I can't use them for that turn, and gain the risk condition +1 for each soul stone to get rid of. At the end of the turn I'll heal that many HP.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, and then I can take them back and put them back in my soul stone.
Do you count as having 0 soul stones for other abilities that work on having no soul stones?
Yes.
Ooh.
So Risk Reward could be really useful. Now obviously one healing at the end of the turn instead of discarding it to negate damage.
Yeah.
It's not as efficient inherently.
Yeah.
But
you don't take 7 soul stones and just keep discarding all 7.
I only took 3.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it meant that rather than using a soul stone to get an extra suit to get her assassinate off with, because she needs an extra crow, just make sure I've got no soul stones. I get a crow built in, and as long as I cheat a crow in or get a crow when I draw, assassinate can get put out a lot.
Yeah, and that worked, and you assassinated Sheamus, right?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
So I assassinated Sheamus in turn 2.
Oh, that sounds like a great game.
Yeah, I went in, went smash. I went, it's worked. It's worked. I kept it. I threw away a card, a soul stone to draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Which made sure I got the crow ready for it. Smashed him in the face, and then he threw a hat away.
Yeah, so Sheamus has a lucky hat.
Yeah, that lets him negate stuff like that.
Lets him ignore 1 attack.
Yep.
Basically.
Which, it's not going to happen all that often to get enough.
Now...
and then he threw his hat to his peon.
Yes, yeah, to his totem. His totem is a little version of him.
Yeah.
That can pick his hat up.
Yeah.
And then his totem can,
Yeah. It's basically flung a hat around the thing. Which, the next turn, he's got an ability that does something very similar.
Yeah.
That can assassinate.
Yes. And you hadn't packed your magic hat?
No, I had no magic hat or any soul stones.
There's no hats in wherever the hell it is the 10 Thunders are from.
No, I didn't tend to do that. Let's get in the way. Got you in the way quite a lot.
Strangely racist land of
so
combined Orientalism.
Yeah. So I burnt through all my cards doing that amazing assassinate and was really happy. And then Colin turned it around and did the same thing back to me and had no way of negating it like he did, and it went boom in my face.
Oh yeah, it's called Mad Haberdash. It costs 2 soul stones.
Yeah.
After this model suffers damage, this model may reduce the damage to 0. Can I make a point here?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't assassinate just kill him outright?
We had this debate with Joe and Chris.
So, I remember this because I was playing in the middle table and you lot were discussing something through my as I was trying to play my game, and so I blocked you out in my rage. Let's look at Mizaki's assassinate.
Yeah.
Oh, this is top. This is cutting edge podcasting.
It says after. No,
I'm in the fucking Gremlins bit.
This was the thing. It said after damaging.
So you didn't damage.
I didn't do any damage, so I couldn't assassinate. So you have to do damage in order to assassinate.
Right,
that was the rule they.
I was really hoping I could ruin your night by saying you should have won.
I don't think that would have won me anyway.
Yeah.
But it would have been hilarious. It was all these other models did stuff.
We were guarding stashes in that game. Yeah. Which is why I took quite a lot of minions.
Yes, which is why I took things that kept...
And some stuff to drop things near the middle. But I just got completely tied up by the Nothing Beast in my game. It's on a huge base. It's got a 3-inch reach. And it had some shenanigans where if I poked it, it poked me in the eye much harder in return.
You know, you get over that. Have a model that slashes it and then runs away straight away.
Lovely. We'll come to that then.
Yeah.
So I don't think... I didn't even fire a single grenade for my Lazarus.
Oh.
Although I did have great fun. And this is where I might soliloquise about the joys of Mad Dog for quite a while. Poking it in the eye with cigars. Because it doesn't actually do any damage to him, so his trigger doesn't go off.
Yeah.
So Mad Dog's one of my favourite models now. Just to talk a little bit about Mad Dog, because he's well good. I know he has a much maligned reputation. People don't seem to think he's good because he does cost 9 soul stones, but he costs 10 because you always give him his upgrade, which is Lucky Poncho. Makes him hard to kill. It also has another thing that you probably won't use, because you keep healing him with the Doctor. The Doctor is really good as well. Three soul stones for the Doctor to heal stuff. 3 soul stones. Tactical action. Needs to flip a 6. 1, 2, 3 damage. If you flip a crow, hard to wound +1 on the target model.
Fucking hell.
He's got a gun. Never used it. He did use it.
Yeah?
Yeah, but if Parker sees him use it, Parker kills him. In a single shot that automatically kills him. Parker's magic. But yeah, Mad Dog was... I wasn't that impressed with the Bandidos and the Dead Outlaws. I have to admit. So, but Mad Dog I really, really like. He did all sorts in my game, in my games. He's got 8 wounds, which for a 10-point model isn't particularly a lot, but you give him hard to kill. That helps. If you give him hard to wound as well from the Doctor, he's even better. But you want him to be on 4 wounds or less, because he gains plus to attack and damage flips, and he has a shotgun. 3, 4 blast, 5 blast damage.
Nice.
Which can also push models back, if you like. And he attacks with burning cigars. So he puts his cigar out on you.
Yeah.
And gives you burning. So I assume he spits some whiskey on you first, maybe?
Possibly.
And he can either do some extra damage and push you away and make you go, ah, my eye, my eye. In that voice. It's the voice of the Nothing Beast. Or, my favourite thing that he can do is say hello to my little friend. He gets to shoot you with his shotgun.
Yeah.
So he puts his cigar out on you and then shoots you.
Yeah.
Which I just love. It's lovely.
Yeah.
So lovely. He can rapid fire with his shotgun.
Jesus.
How ridiculous is that? And so I kept giving him Oathkeeper, which makes him fast for a turn if you discard it. So he would run forwards and then rapid fire with his shotgun, which was the best thing ever. And I was doing that with Lazarus as well, because Lazarus has rapid fire.
Yeah.
When I find something, I tend to really commit to it.
Yeah.
So ladies, I just did a pointy thing. The other thing I really like about Mad Dog And I can't think of any other models. Please correct me out there if I'm wrong. I can't think of any other models that do this. He has the Blow It to Hell ability. Now, he needs a 4 of Rams. But you've got so many Soul Stones in a Parker crew. You can cheat that in if you like.
Yeah.
If you really need to. But within 8 inches, he can place a 30mm height 0 blown apart marker. You can only have one down at a time. If you put a new one down, the other one goes away.
Yeah.
The old one. Models within 3 inches of a blown apart marker may not benefit from cover when targeted by shoot actions.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And makes, in a shooting crew, and with a guy that can rapid fire a shotgun, makes him really, 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 really good. So he was my model of the tournament. And I really, really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
And I may come back to him. I may reminisce some more.
Yeah.
I don't know how effective he'd be outside of Parker. I'm trying to think of other shooty outcasts. Von Schill's shooty. Yeah, but you really kind of... Often you quite want the Freikorps. Yeah. You want your armour and your immunity to blasts, because... That's always good.
They just don't give a shit and go for it,
Yeah. I don't know, for uniformity's sake, it kind of...
Yeah, it just kind of
works.
Yeah.
But I really liked Mad Dog, and I don't know why the internet's so down on it. Shame on you, internet! So yeah, that was the first game. So I lost, and you lost as well.
Yes.
Great start.
Yeah.
High five, buddy. Yeah. That was the tamest...
Gave me wrist.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bless you. He never was the same. So that's the first game. Second game then, I played Joe and his Arcanists. Can't remember what we were doing. Who'd you play in your second game?
I played Chris with Tara.
And what were you doing? Because I was doing the same. Because we had the same strategies and schemes across.
Yes.
For everyone at the same time, makes sense.
It was the Killy schemes of Killy Death.
Ah, yes.
Reckoning,
yeah.
And the one where you nominate one of your models to get killed by the opponent.
Frame for Murder?
Frame for Murder, probably,
yeah. Frame for Murder.
Which
this is one of the things I like about Malifaux, but really threw me getting started. I can't think of any other war game. I've played a lot of tabletop war games in the time. And I can't think of any other tabletop war game where you want models to die.
With the exception of certain teams, thinking like the Orcs for 40k, like occasionally you'd want to murder a couple of guys. Well, in the Imperials, you'd occasionally want to murder one of these lesser models to get the others motivated.
Oh yeah, you used to be able to execute things and stuff with commissars.
But generally that wouldn't get you any points. It was just a small advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've lost count now the number of times. I think I've talked about this in a previous podcast where I just fall for Frame for Murder every time.
Yeah.
Every time. I'm such an idiot when it comes to that scheme.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's just not playing enough Malifaux or like
you just want to murder
all
things.
of those objectives, no matter what they are, well, not all, nearly all those objectives are easier to achieve if the other side can't kill your stuff and has less goes than you.
Yeah.
So it's just a natural instinct to kill a model.
Yeah. I was also marked as well, which is the way I won that game.
Oh, brilliant.
So
spoiler alert, mate. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So I struggled a lot with Tara.
Yeah.
I ended up with loads of models that were slow. One of the problems with Parker is that he doesn't really have anything that deals with incorporeal models.
Yeah.
And I really should have thought ahead. I did take a librarian for healing and to deal with incorporeal stuff with her cast actions, and she got eaten in the first turn by the Nothing Beast.
See,
first turn might have been at the beginning of the second turn. She did nothing.
No.
Yeah, and I think that was a very deliberate move by Chris, and well done to him, because she was that was probably the threat.
I mean, I didn't have any models that could do any caster actions apart from I think one of Misaki's push away things, which doesn't really do any damage.
Doesn't damage it, yeah, so it doesn't matter.
It still defeated the Nothing Beast, but it was also the thing that had been marked for murder.
Yeah?
Yeah. So he got points for me murdering it.
Okay.
He only nearly killed one of my models with that.
Yeah.
But I knew it was a threat, it was scary, so I went in and smashed it to pieces as soon as I saw it.
I think if
and
you've
that's
got them...
what my crew is set up to do.
Yeah.
Head in and just spend everything just smashing into a single model.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Tara was exposed within the first turn, which allowed Misaki to...
Did you actually assassinate?
Yes.
Aaron! Is that your first Misaki assassinate?
I can't remember whether I actually assassinated. No, yeah, I think so. I think it was assassinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you assassinated before?
No.
Oh, you've
never worked out.
I was going to say you've popped your cherry, but you've popped your lotus blossom.
Oh, that sounds quite good.
Is it right? Yeah. Sexy.
The crew feels tainted now.
So you had a very sexy game with Chris.
Yeah.
Popping each other's flowers.
But I've got that. Misaki's got that other upgrade that allows her to mark a target essentially and then follow them around the board.
Which is a bit clingy.
Which with Tara activating twice in turn
because she's got that.
Activate the first turn, moves, then Misaki comes towards. Then she activates again at the end of the turn, and then Misaki comes even closer.
Okay, so did you have to make sure that you got initiative to mark her, or does it carry on for the rest of the game?
Carries on for the whole game until you declare it on somebody else. Once you've declared
That's quite brutal, yeah. Because one of Tara's things, for the uneducated, that sounds really mean. The uninitiated, there you go. That's much nicer. Is that she manipulates time and space.
Yeah.
And so she activates first, she gains reactivate, she gets to go twice.
Yes.
Which sounds really scary, but actually what she does is quite weak.
Yeah.
She has lots of synergy and she does some cool stuff and messes around. She's very much a kind of mess with your opponent kind of master.
Yeah.
I remember one turn against me, she reactivated and just sort of fired her pistol at me, and I was like, it's a master attacking me, I'm gonna take no damage because it was poo.
Yeah.
She not actually have any kind of punch to her.
No.
The nothing beast is the punch.
Was thing defended, and I don't know if it's because Chris kind of wanted it killed at some point.
Yeah.
Or I just happened because I bundled on it and Tara's nearby trying to use it to do horrible things to stuff. And again, I think it was turn 3 by the time I got the assassinate off. It's very early and quick in the game when I ran in, got to Tara very, very quickly, and then smashed her into the ground.
Yeah.
Because that's what Misaki does, and Tara is very weak to that.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I won that was because the scheme pool was set up for being super smashy assassinate-y.
Yeah.
Whereas mucking around.
Well, this is the thing where if you're playing proper tournament Malifaux, you're declaring a faction and picking the master to achieve that scheme pool.
Yeah.
With us sticking with masters, there are different scheme pools, there are different strategies, there are things that suit certain masters more.
Yes.
But I think if you've got the whole choice of the entire faction, these edge case masters maybe don't get played very often, or there's someone who can still do that bit better. Yeah. But when we're kind of all playing the worst masters, it kind of balances out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, as a general rule.
Yeah.
So each of us will have a particular scheme pool that just does not work for us at all. Yeah.
So, the tale of Ironsides then. The Ironsides crew, Joe's Arcanist, won its first game, I do believe, against
Chris?
Rob's Hoffman crew.
Oh, Rob. Yes.
Yes. By process of elimination.
Yes.
I played Chris, you played Colin.
Chris,
Yeah.
I completely forgotten who'd played for a start, even though I mentioned it not 5 minutes ago.
Logical thinking.
I've
got a mind full of Venn diagrams at the moment. And then. No, I didn't play Von Schill. That would have been really good.
Yeah.
Now, we've mentioned on the podcast before, and Joe's been on with us. He's one of us. He's just elsewhere in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah.
Drinking Virgin's tears. What? Well, I don't know. He.
That's what you do in Destiny 2, isn't it?
He is very much the alpha player of our group, if you like. He's the one that would be the most likely to go and play in tournaments with random people what he doesn't know. He really enjoys that side of games.
Yeah.
He's the one who, all the stuff we play, he's the most sort of competitive.
Yeah.
And we've had a we've had a problem with Arcanists, maybe as a result of that, in that I find them really difficult to play against, and all their stuff feels like it's about 2 soul stones too cheap for what it does.
Yes.
And before the game, we'd had a quite involved discussion about Oxford mages, who I think are one of the best. I was going to say minions, but they're not. They're enforcers. They're one of the best models in the game for their soulstone cost. They used to cost 6 soulstones, but they've had a series of upgrades that allows them to be taken for 5. That's a free upgrade. As long as you take all 3, they become 15 points, 15 soulstones rather than 18 soulstones. They have really good offensive capabilities. They're really flexible because they can do you a load of damage. They can push you around. They defend themselves. So they have arcane shield, -1 point of damage to a minimum of 0. So if you're trying to do a little bit of damage to them, they just kind of ignore it. With Ironsides, if they've taken a point of damage, if they're taking any damage at all, they get positive to attack and damage flips.
Oh shit.
Because they are M&SU models, as is she. And that's sort of her synergy. I mean, they're in her crew box, so you completely understand that. Ironsides, let me just check that.
But that especially makes me wonder why
fewer wounds than their wounds. They have to be within 6 inches of her. So, but it's not. It's just a permanent aura. It's not like a burst or something she has to flip a card for in any way. And so Joe was quite happy. He was chuffed with this thing where he would fire at one of his own. He'd use an Oxford mage to fire at an Oxford mage. It does 2 points of damage, so they take 1. You kind of yield and take minor damage. It then gets pushed forwards by up to 6 inches you can do, but sort of generally was pushing them. They have a built-in tome which gives them 2 inches of push on a trigger. They're then near another one, so it gets another bit of push. So he's pushing them, so they were coming towards people really, really quickly, and they were laying down this hail of ridiculously good fire. Do they rapid fire? They're furious cast, don't they? So they just upset me.
They're disgusting.
And he thought they were kind of fine and balanced, and I disagreed.
I think the whole rest of the group thinks they're broken as fuck.
So I wasn't looking forward to playing against Joe. Now, the one thing I have that I always take when I play Arcanists, which is Joe. Although I did take against Chris when he played Colette a few weeks ago. Is it Colette? Yeah, showgirl lady. So he hates Sue.
Okay.
The outcast enforcer who is styled on Johnny Cash. Boy called Sue. Sue. All of the abilities and triggers and such like are named after Johnny Cash songs, and it's a man with a gun and a guitar.
I remember whinging about this now.
At this point, if you pause this and go and listen to our Fallout 4 review, at the end of that is a song, a Johnny Cash song that we restyled for Fallout, where you can learn just how badly the Critical Twits can sing. In fact, Aaron, could you put it at the end of this episode? Can you find it? Have we got it? That'd be really cool. So we'll put that at the end. If anyone would like to hear that. Well, we're going to do it, but we'll put it at the end. So, I quite like Johnny Cash. He's all right.
Yeah.
So he has a protective bubble that protects nearby models from casting actions, and so I would sit him just behind my crew and mess him up. So I took Sue and I moved my models forward, but Sue's got another ability where if you end an activation near him, he can set you on fire. There's a ring of fire. So I used some of Parker's abilities to get him to sort of move forwards. and I did some stuff, and I kind of flung him forwards, and Joe hates Sue and murdered him, ground him to a pulp with his Oxford mages. Thus giving me 3 victory points. Because Sue was a sacrifice. Now, this was the first time I've ever got that scheme off against anyone ever.
Yeah.
I've taken it before, but I don't like having my stuff killed.
No.
But I think because Joe's such a good player, I was expecting Sue to die anyway, even if I tried to protect him. So I was like, well, Sue's going to die anyway.
I may as well make something of it.
Yeah, and then I got slightly carried away and threw him forward and thought that I'd maybe overplayed my hand. But Joe's sort of deep built-in hatred of Sue meant that I got my 3 victory points.
Nice.
And I was well happy. And if I'd then lost that game, I'd have been chuffed because, as far as I was concerned, you know, our top player, I'd tricked.
Yeah.
But I think that threw Joe off his game and gave me this kind of strange burst of confidence. I did my discarding Oathkeeper, running forward with Lazarus, and I gunned down. So these Oxford mages that I was convinced were indestructible models.
Yeah.
In a single flurry of rapid fire, I gunned them down with a grenade launcher using all the blasts because 2 of them were right next to each other.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was my game.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was having a good day again. But I did mix my crew around for this. And, you know, Joe was taking the same stuff pretty much the whole time. You were taking the same stuff pretty much the whole time. Yeah. And I think that the fact that I was willing to change, and maybe just because I've got the collection to change about, gave me an advantage. And I felt I ended up leaning on models I already knew and used and knew were good. Yeah. Maybe to make up for the master.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I employed another minion for the whole rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because it was Reckoning, I went with the small elite crew that could sort of tidy up after itself, and the in the sense that the librarian could heal, the doctor can heal.
Yeah.
Stuff's got there was hard to wound and similar in there.
Yeah.
Lazarus is well armoured. I took Envy, the Crossroads 7 guy, for the Arcanists.
Yeah.
Who I like the fact that he's Envy, because the Arcanists are like a uprising of the poor. Yeah. I think that the sin, you could twist the sins to fit.
Yeah.
Like Wrath, Neverborn, this is ours.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. I might do a whole episode on the Crossroads 7 at some point, because I think they're really interesting, and I will it gives me an excuse to play them lots. It took me ages to stick them together. So I took Envy again for blast markers and scheme shenanigans. There's a really weird synergy with Parker, because he makes you drop scheme markers, and the blasts go off if there's scheme markers nearby and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't fire a single shot with his giant guns.
Yeah.
All he did all game was walk over to Ironsides and Joss and mark them for death, and then giggle as they got mad. And I ended up dogpiling Ironsides.
Yeah.
And everything was good.
Nice.
Yeah. You talked about your game, didn't you?
I did,
I've been talking about mine for so long. So at this point, I'd won one and lost one. You'd
won one and
lost one. Joe had won one and lost one.
Yeah.
And other people had other results.
Yes.
I think there was a draw.
Yeah. And
then, Chris had beaten me and lost to you, so had won one and lost one as well. So it was shaping up to be fairly even. Now, we had aimed for 4 games, but we only had time for 3 because of an extended lunch break and 4 hours for me searching for my Black Joker. And so the last game was myself against Colin's Sheamus, so Parker versus Sheamus. And you played
Rob.
You played Hoffman.
Yes.
Which means between us we've managed to play against everyone. So we can talk about the different masters. How did you find Hoffman to play against?
I don't remember Hoffman doing anything.
No, that is my entire summary of Hoffman. Is he shares all the numbers around, and not a lot else.
No. The other Rob picked a lot of good supporting models.
Yeah,
so we could do a lot of that sharing around of
lots
stats.
of robotic things that push you around and shoot you, and
and he had a very solid crew.
Were they so solid?
They were solid.
They were a so solid crew. Insert 2.5 seconds of music that we're allowed to use legally because of fair use.
I remember.
So it was all to play for in the last game.
Yes, it was. Yes.
So that's a good noise.
Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah?
I was tired.
Okay.
Rob didn't think he did very well. I disagree. I think he did. He probably could have done better. But I think he did perfectly. He did really well with the schemes and stuff.
See, I found as the games went on, I got more and more confident with the new master and using them. Whereas you seem to have gone the other way, slightly, in the sense that you messed up at the end.
Yeah, I think I messed up at the end because I was tired.
Yeah,
more than anything else. I declared the assassination mark on the wrong model.
Yeah,
I sent Misaki off in the wrong direction. I stupidly, well, actually, no, not stupidly. I got screwed over by the Black Joker.
Yeah,
this is when the game I got a bit frustrated actually.
Black Joker flips at just the wrong time can be really upsetting.
Well, this is the thing. I tend to find the Black Joker pops up at the most inopportune and ridiculous moment.
Yeah.
Now, the samurai can fire his Gatling gun.
Yep.
If he misses, it does him 3 damage without any armor reduction. It just does 3 damage.
Yeah.
And he's only got
6 wounds, isn't it? Is he going to take that twice?
7, I think he's got wounds. So he can take it twice and then it kills him. He's got 7 or 8 wounds. He's fairly strong, but it's not something you want to be fucking around with. Because Robert's models are grouped up and it can chain together.
Yeah.
And I had some really good cards in my hand. Now you have to.
So just to jump back, it has the samurai has 6 wounds.
Oh, it's
and
6.
It takes 4 damage.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
It does get a triple positive flip.
Yes.
Which sounds great, but if you.
But this is the thing. With the samurai, you go, okay, have I seen the Black Joker yet? No.
I'll activate him later.
Yes. Wait until I see the Black Joker. It's in my hand or it's gone.
Yeah.
Rob's models were bunched up really nicely and were in a really weak position. I hadn't seen the Black Joker, but I hadn't seen the Red Joker either, and my deck was nearly full. It was really early on. And I went, the chances of me pulling Black Joker on this one shot is low. I have a card in my hand that I can cheat in that almost guarantees I'm not going to miss.
Yeah.
And I had enough cards in to cheat in, do it again, and cheat it again.
Yeah.
And highly unlikely to miss.
Yeah.
First flip was a Black Joker.
Yay!
And I was like, just
followed by 2 13s and a 12, just to really rub it in.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't think it was quite that high, but they would have hit.
Did you feel well basted?
Yeah.
Well rubbed in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just went, cool, that completely fucked that up and ruined that model when he was a sport model from Misaki that was going to get her out of trouble.
There are the upgrades for them that let them negate those things to a certain extent for one of them.
Yes. I took... We see the Samurai's got 3 upgrades that are free that you can take one off, depending on what you want to do. The one I took for the game against Rob and Chris gives +2 walk, +1 charge.
Okay.
Or possibly the way around. But makes sort of
so
zipping in and
more
out.
Mobile, yeah.
Which is because he's only got a walk 4, he needs a more powerful walk.
Yeah.
The other one gives him extra wounds, which is quite handy.
Which negates some of that thing. Yeah.
The other one allows him to take no damage during his activation.
Yeah.
Now I took that against Colin because I was like, he does loads of.
You're taking an upgrade on the off chance of a single card.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, which is like it's no point doing that because he's not got black blood or anything like that. So I'm not going to worry about going close and taking damage.
Yeah.
So I'll take the thing that's in walk in and do smash.
Just a little anecdote from our gaming group as an aside. How many samurai are there in our gaming group? This is a model that I've never heard anyone ever talk about anywhere else, because it kills itself horribly. Mm-hmm. And they come in boxes of 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We've got about 7 of them.
Yeah.
Because Rob bought some and got a miss pack.
Yeah.
Asked for, and so got 2 of the same one. asked for a new one, got one he'd already got, asked for a new one, got one he'd already got, and we ended up with like 1 million samurai. So I think we've all got like 15 of them in a box each.
And I thought,
thanks, Weird.
Well, they've never been seen. We're playing with bad models. I thought it'd be worthwhile taking.
Yeah,
actually, the Samurai's one of the models that's recommended to take with Misaki because of the mop-up. But you don't fire the gun unless you've got the other upgrade, or it's you could pretty much.
So did that upset you? Did that tilt your game? That one kind of thing, or?
Yeah, I think so. That really, really frustrated me because if I'd missed just on flipping those 3 cards and weren't able to cheat in, whatever, that'd be fine. That'd be my mistake. But the Black Joker just felt like kicking teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's one of the odd times where you're better off targeting a model that gives you some kind of negative.
Yeah.
Because, especially if you've got that card to cheat in hand, you maybe just want to be flipping 3 cards, not 4, or 2 cards, not 3. So picking a model that's in cover. Yeah. But then you always want to shoot the thing that's the thing you need to shoot, don't you? So it's a bit tricky.
It's a bit frustrating, but a combination of that and being timed, just placing my models really terribly, and Rob putting them in the right place, bunching together in the right way, spreading things around well, meant that he, for the first few turns, absolutely smashed me on points, and I thought I was going to end the game with nothing. I managed to scrape some back towards the end, but only because the game we were getting rushed towards the end because of the timed.
Yeah.
Rob made a couple of mistakes that allowed me to capitalise on it, just enough to boost my point pool up a bit, but not enough to win. No, I was never a wimp. No. I kind of wonder if he did let me have the points a little bit.
Cheers, Rob!
Yeah. But no. But I don't remember his master I don't remember Hoffman doing anything.
No,
massive.
Hoffman never seems to do anything. He's one of those masters that he's a support master.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of good support masters. Colette's a good support master, I suppose. Yeah, there are some out there, but
it's not as fun, I don't think.
I like having. I don't know whether it's because I was raised on a diet of 40k and He-Man, but I like a big, powerful character that can do an awesome thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Parker Barrows. So I was playing against Colin's Sheamus crew.
Yeah.
Now, Colin does this thing every time he plays Rezzers.
Yeah.
And this is his 3rd Rezzer Master, so he does this in lots of different crews.
Yeah.
He takes a Canine Remains and in the first turn digs up a corpse marker and then summons a thing.
Yeah.
And Sheamus has some summoning.
Mm-hmm.
I looked across the table. Because of the setup, we were playing corner to corner.
Yeah.
So he had all of his models bunched up together in a wood.
Yeah.
And he had a Canine Remains, and I was like, you're gonna fucking summon something. You know, I hate it when you summon things. It makes me sad. Makes me sad because you've got extra soul stones immediately when you do it in the first turn.
Yeah.
You've got free shit. Stop it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I took the lovely Taylor. Now Taylor, I think again is one of these more slightly maligned models. I don't really hear much about her. She's quite expensive. Soulstone wise, but she has a beautiful ability, or combination of abilities really. She has the Welcome to Malifaux ability, so it's a 0. She just kind of fires it, and if a model is summoned that she can charge, she immediately gets to charge them for free. She can also, when she charges, because she's got a bionic arm, she can take her 2 melee action instead of 2 1 melee actions, and she can do she has a relic hammer that does a huge burst when she smashes something and sort of pushes models back and does damage to models, and they need to flip loads of cards if there's lots of models around.
Yeah.
So my entire game plan hinged on running Taylor forward and pinning his entire crew in a corner with Taylor, who, boosted by loads of damage reducing soul stones from Sheamus, would survive long enough to stop Colin claiming. We were trying to claim objectives in the centre. That was kind of the scheme. Paul was very focused on getting into the middle of the board or the opponent's side of the board. So I was like, if I can pin him back for a couple turns, Rezzers are normally quite slow. Yeah. Maybe Sheamus could run away and do some teleporting, but apart from that, going to be good. Which was fine. And in the first turn, I was keeping her forward and ran forward and got her in position, and it worked. And she came in, she smashed, and I think I did like spread out over his crew because everything was so close. It did like 18 points of damage in a single hit.
Jesus.
Didn't kill anything.
No.
And she did her job. What I forgot was that Sheamus has lots of lures in amongst his dead doxies and various other models.
Yeah.
And so I'd moved Parker into support, got Colin to drop a scheme marker down, picked up an upgrade that's a crate of dynamite, which you can make explode and has a huge area of effect.
Yay.
Did loads of damage to loads of his crew. Still didn't kill anything, at which point Parker got lured in, paralysed, poked in the eye, set on fire, poisoned, everything bad you could possibly think.
Yeah.
This is fine because he can reduce damage, he's quite tough, and all I need to do is get that doctor in there and that librarian in there to heal him. Unless, of course, he gets cursed by the Hanged, that immediately halved his 14 hit points down to 7 and stopped him healing for the rest of the game.
Yes.
At which point I looked at Johanna, because I got Johanna, in my box, because I didn't take her, missing her condition removal greatly, and just thinking, if this was a Von Schill crew, everyone would have condition removal from the trunk and I'd be okay.
I forgot to mention that Colin had done that to me as well.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
So I'd taken that risk of reward from Misaki. Went, cool, 3 soul stones out of the way. Well, 2, I think I did that point. He's done me some damage. Cool, well, we're going to heal 2 at the end of the thing. If I run away, I should be fine.
Can't heal.
Yeah, and they did the can't heal thing, and we went, but no, I can't. But that means I can't get...
You can reduce damage with soul stones, because it's not healing, but you didn't have access to them, did you?
No, and I couldn't get back to the end of the turn, and then he smashed me in the face and killed me.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was really irritating. So, well done, Colin.
Yeah.
But also reiterates why I don't think Sheamus is that bad.
So I was convinced that I was going to lose massively, but I had managed to use a trapper to claim a corner of the board.
Oh yeah, because you guys put a house like right in the corner, and there was like a little like 2-inch gap along the side.
Because you're sort of 4 inches in from the corner, and it was like a 6-inch courtyard, and it had
the scheme marker there, and this trapper
who just literally sat in the corner of the board, unable to see anyone, claiming and dropping scheme markers for claim jump.
Yes.
Just sort of doing that for the entire game. I took hands as well. This is sometimes when I get an idea, it's quite good because hands can shoot into engagements without randomising,
which is awesome.
Yes. So the idea: tie up the entire crew with one tough model.
Yeah.
Shooty.
Yeah.
Drop some scheme markers, blow them up. Cool. All good. But I was genuinely convinced I was going to lose because my master was dead really quickly, and I'd taken the scheme undercover entourage on Parker. So by the start of turn 2, he was in the enemy deployment zone, but he was paralysed with 3 wounds and unable to heal. It's like, okay, probably not going to make it to the end of the game to score me some points.
Yeah.
But because I managed to pin all of Colin's stuff right back in the corner, he had a Kruligan in the opposite corner that started wherever it liked.
Yeah.
That did a similar thing, but he couldn't get the other scheme markers in play because he was just so pinned back.
Yeah.
And Taylor lasted all the way almost since she lasted until the second to last turn.
Yeah.
And she just really sort of tanked damage. I did about 35 points of damage to Sheamus, and he kept healing and healing and healing, and then he healed some more.
Yeah.
Then he underside bottom of the foot. Then he healed. Then he trotted by his master's side closely. Then he healed. Then he was the victim in a gambling con, and then he healed. That was good, wasn't it? Or awful, depending on your taste. Yeah. So I didn't manage to kill Sheamus,
No.
but I did manage to keep all of his models pinned back and busy with these other things, and managed to. Ended up using my Oathkeeper upgrade on Mad Dog, who in this game did almost nothing. He then moved, claimed an objective in the centre of the board for squatters' rights.
Yes.
And then dropped a scheme marker, which worked with the trapper and got me some points. And then right at the end of the game, he took a double walk next to some of Colin's scheme markers and claimed them as his own at the end of the game, stopping Colin from winning when Colin had finally managed, like 5 minutes before the end of the game, to sort of run forward and drop some scheme markers.
Yeah.
And he went, "No, I've done this before. I live a life of crime, you know." I like the idea he's got that kind of voice. He looks tough, but hello, I'm Mad Dog. Well. That's why he's mad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was really good. And again, like, Mad Dog was amazing, even though he only did 2 things in the entire game. So, at the end of it, we totted up wins and losses and such like, and Chris won.
Yeah.
Our new player in his probably played less than 10 games in total.
Yeah, I think that's what he'd added up as.
Won. So well done, Chris. Round of applause.
Yeah. Well
Could put
deserved.
that cheering thing we stole from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yay! What do you do with the drunken sailor? And I came second because I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And then everyone else kind of came together, really. There wasn't much in it.
There wasn't much in it, but I think we worked out as Colin, Jeremy.
And then Rob?
Oh no, Colin, Rob had the same points. Jeremy.
Oh, so you came last.
Yeah.
So the tournament favourite ended up... Did you throw the games to make us all feel bad?
I wish.
No.
I'm just shit.
It's because you don't play enough.
It's because I'm shit.
Yeah, I suppose if you're shit at something, you don't want to do it. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I do like, because you've been discussing recently getting into a new faction, a new master.
Mm-hmm.
Who's on the list?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at other masters now because fuck that.
Yeah, just go play Rasputina, or Leviticus is mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to do comical bullshit that doesn't matter on what the fuck happens with card draws because I can't rely on them.
Yeah,
They screw me over the most inopportune moments.
but if you have really, really, really good models, then you can have a few bad card draws and card flips, and you can still win because all the models are really good. Blowing your mind, man. So, yeah, what do we think? I liked this as an idea.
Yeah, I did.
I enjoyed it. And it felt balanced in the sense that everyone won at least one game.
Yeah.
Most of the games were close. My game against Chris was not close. And it was the victory point differential from that game that did me in.
Yeah.
Because my other games were scraped and I lost heavily to Chris.
Fairly sure Chris said the game he and Joe played at the end, they both thought they were going to end with like a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Just because the way things are working out for them.
I've never seen a no-score draw. It's like the opposite of the pools. It should be worth extra points. You have to really try not to get points in Malifaux.
Yeah.
I think.
But it did feel balanced. I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm starting to actually learn how my Misaki works, but yeah. The game against Colin, I think I only lost by a couple of points. I only beat Chris by a couple of points. Rob was a few, but because it went tits up kind of thing. But it was closer than most of my games. Normally, I managed to score out one scheme and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas I was more balanced.
Yeah.
It seemed to be the same for everybody else I played as well.
Yeah. I think they're definitely masters that have very individual strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And thus, when they're kind of pitted against each other, maybe it becomes a little rock, paper, scissors. Malifaux can sometimes feel a bit like that.
Yeah, I mean...
And you're trying to find the right implement for the scheme pool, whereas being forced to play a master regardless can kind of heighten that.
Yeah.
That difference.
Well, as I said, that game I had against Chris, where that was pretty much massively in my favour.
Yes. Here's all the things you would like in the pool. Go and do the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that couldn't have been a fun game for
I
Chris,
was
wouldn't imagine.
most confident about Guard the Stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Parker can make people drop loads of scheme markers all over the place, and it synergizes well with things like claim jump and such like, which is always in there. There were other scheme markery things there, and I had a quicker crew and quite a lot of minions to sort of hold the position, and I thought I was going to do quite well with that, and I thought I'd be able to rush forward, form a gun line and just keep everything off, and it just didn't work at all. So I learnt something. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It got me completely out of my comfort zone, and that first game I was ready to go home. But I think that was a combination of complete not having an idea what I was doing and struggling that way, with the pressure of knowing that there's a timer. So the more I dithered, the more sort of guilty I felt, because I'm ruining the game for the other person. So I should have had at least a couple practice games.
I think that probably would have made things better for everybody.
Listening to Schemes and Stones was wonderful. Have you listened to the Miyazaki one? Yeah. Maybe try it again. Maybe try it again.
That's why I did so well this time. So well, I said in quotation marks.
You won a game, mate.
Yeah, exactly, which I don't think I've ever done before.
Oh, Aaron. I
shouldn't probably admit that on a podcast where we're talking about how to play Malifaux.
But we're not set up as a competitive hardcore gamer podcast. That's not what we're about. We're about
learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, we're about sharing our joy and maybe talking in too much detail about games, because we said we wouldn't do that, and then we did.
Yeah, well, to talk about the things that were interesting for the masses, you had to, I suppose.
Interesting in each game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's what we're aiming for. I think I had a much better time of it because I was willing to mix my crew up, and I know Chris was changing a few models here and there to suit what was going on.
Yeah, I think Rob was as well,
yeah,
but to a more limited extent. The same with Colin, but again to a more limited extent. Whereas me and Joe, who ironically lost, weren't mixing things up.
I think in Malifaux you really, and we've talked about this before, but you really need to zero in on how am I going to score points in this game.
Yeah.
And so, like for you, when it was, well, I'm going to score points by killing stuff, excellent, my crew kills stuff.
Yeah.
But when it was, I'm going to need scheme runners, or I'm going to need to sacrifice this model, or do this, or do that, you kind of need that, you need that wider pool of models, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to be a case of there being a list that is unbeatable.
No.
In Malifaux, which I think is a strength in its favour.
Yeah, definitely.
But it does mean, although yes, you can play Malifaux with 6 models, really to play well and to get good, you do need to buy quite a bit of stuff.
Right.
No.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying that it's...
You need to feel you have variety.
Yeah, one of the things we said, Malifaux's great because it's really cheap to get into, because you just buy a box set and maybe a couple little sort of booster packs.
Yeah.
But to play well, you need a couple masters from the same faction to cover different eventualities, and you need different support pieces for different situations. And and it's maybe not quite as cheap a game as we thought.
No.
Especially now the pound has collapsed like a flan in a cupboard.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really like the idea of whoring myself out for more Ten Thunders models, but if I have to...
Well, you're not a poor dirty student anymore.
No, it's true.
So you've decided to commit to a different faction and buy yourself a pig army. Which I'm really excited to see in action.
Yeah.
Because they're just comical bullshit, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
And they look fun.
Yeah.
But some of those pigs are actually quite good. Get a pigapult. People complain about the pigapult all the time.
Yeah. Pigapult's on my list. It's fine.
Yeah. Stuffed piglets?
No,
ones with dynamite in them?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah? Is that stuffed ones?
I don't know. I haven't looked at those.
Cool. Look at them.
Pigs in blankets.
Yeah, and I like the Animal Farm themed characters and stuff they have as well.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. So we'll have something new to talk about there. But if you've got the models kicking around in your gaming group, in your meta, I do recommend giving this a go. It kind of changes the feel of the game, because maybe you're not expecting to win every game.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're trying to win and you're trying to bend the pool of what you've got, or trying to bend the capabilities of a master to do something maybe they're not so good at.
Yes.
It would have been quite cool to pick a faction each and have the 2 masters from each to choose from, maybe.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have been stuck with Mizaki. You could have played Yanlo as well if you felt that Yanlo would have done you better.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how that would balance between them, maybe. Kairos and Ironsides, Martucket and Ulix. Lady Justice and Hoffman are very different. Zoraida and Lucius, yeah. Von Schill and Parker, very shooty crews, really.
Yeah.
We have a lot of overlap with them. I mean, I took Librarian and Lazarus quite regularly. Tara and Sheamus are very different. Mizaki and Yanlo?
Quite different. I think Yanlo's more of a
supporty type guy, isn't he?
Yeah, it's more like sort of putting statuses and stuff on characters.
Yeah.
Poisoning them.
So maybe that would give you a bit of variety. So you
Yeah.
can pick maybe a faction
Yeah.
and play the same faction. Or you could declare you'd have to have lots of these, and maybe people don't. I don't know if people have lots of these models in their collection. They're not seen as particularly good. The ones I've got, I like the models.
Yeah.
So that was the thing where I bought them from that. I mean, I really enjoyed playing Parker, and I may just never give Chris his models back and paint them up and lick them and claim them as my own. Because he was actually good. I wasn't that excited to play him to start with.
No.
He's very schemy, droppy, quite complicated, quite convoluted in what he's doing, very precise. He does this thing and he drops that, and then he picks it up and he gains a thing, and then he does that and he does this, and then he has 1 AP left to do something else.
Yeah.
But actually, once I got into him, it was a challenge to make him work. And I felt it worked okay. I don't think I'd have been happy playing Parker against, say, one of the top tier masters.
No.
Especially to start with Parker, because that's tricky. So maybe as a way of breaking things in.
Yeah, possibly. You've got used to how the game runs, and you're getting more into the systems and stuff. Play with the bad ones, because it gives you a better understanding of how to work in a shit situation. Yeah. So those new upgrades then. Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think every one of us used a new upgrade at some point. Obviously, we're trying the poor masters against each other, so we can't talk about how they balance with the rest of the game.
No.
But I do feel like your thing for Mizaki almost feels like the piece that was missing from making her work.
Yes.
Because if she snuffs it, you'll get the soul stones back, and you can start using them for other stuff. You don't have to sort of spend them recklessly or whatever. Von Schill's upgrade looked really, really good. His new one, but yeah, he starts being a bit more interesting with the new upgrades. That just kind of waffle. Never mind. Yeah, the one thing I will say, I'm going to end on a down note. We've got models now where, like, Parker has like this enormous handful of different upgrades that you can put on him.
Yeah.
You've got those models like we talked about earlier, where you've got models like the Oxford Mages. So they're an enforcer, but they've all got 2 upgrades.
Yeah.
Now, one of those upgrades is the same for all of them, but the other one is different for each one.
Yeah.
So you need to know which one's got which, and they've got 2 upgrades attached. So last time we played, I played Jackdaw.
Yeah.
And so, like a model like Montresor, for instance, who nobody seems to like, he has a free 0 cost upgrade to give him a boost to make him more competitive, to kind of rebalance him.
Yeah.
Hans, who I used in my last game against Colin, he has a 0 point upgrade that you can attach.
Yeah.
Now this is great. This is fine. So trying to keep the game fresh and such like. But it feels and it feels like there's a lot of fiddling around and putting lots of cards down, and you've got your model and the upgrade and the free upgrade, and then you're also, which version of the card are you using because of the erratas and the changed cards.
Yeah. I mean, we don't play at a particularly small table, and I find we're running out of room.
Yeah, we've got a good 4 or 5 inches on either side of the board to play on.
Yeah.
If we're just playing with one person on one game going on the table, we've got the sides, which makes it easier. But we tend to get 2 games side by side with kind of a 4-inch strip on each. And yeah, you do run out of room, and you end up with loads of stuff on the board.
Yeah.
I keep losing cards and forgetting, like picking up a card and then not putting it back and going, which upgrades on who? And it's starting to feel like the game's becoming a little bit clunky.
Yeah. Like it needs sort of a sweep under the carpet with some things, and just a big batch of reprints for the 0-point upgrades to put them on the cards.
Yeah, I think that might make it easier rather than having an errated card and its 0-point upgrade and this and that. It just... Malifaux's always been a complicated game, and there's now more complication to that, more abilities, more things to remember when you use a model, more options to try to decide what you're using. And I like the complexity of Malifaux. I like that it makes me think, but it is giving me that Malifaux headache earlier and earlier in the day, because there's so much going on. I
think part of the reason we called it at 3 games
is because people were starting to dribble.
Yeah, my head ached the next day from thinking.
And if you want to know what some models do, you're going to be looking at in the book that they came out in, maybe a book later on where they got an upgrade, another book later on where they got an upgrade, and then maybe checking the errata as well. And it starts to become a little bit too complicated, I think. I don't know if the game's kind of bursting at the seams a little. We're going to come back. I think our next episode on Malifaux will be a run through Broken Promises, which I'm going to give to Aaron now to take home and make some notes on.
Cool.
Give him homework from the podcast. I'm so cool.
It's okay, I won't do it.
It'll make me feel right at home as an ex-teacher. Not a teacher anymore. No? Podcast bomb. And so I'm just finding it's becoming slight bit of a barrier. It's like, I need to find all these and it's, I don't know, it just makes it fiddly and awkward and more stuff to remember,
especially when we're playing games like you're supposed to be playing with Malifaux, where you can swap out masters and models each game.
The dizzying number of options and dizzying number of things to remember every time. And then if you're thinking, if I want to be good at this game, I need to know what they're probably going to do, and then that's where I start to dribble slightly. So I actually quite like the fact that we were playing with a few more restrictions this time, because I looked up what everyone else's master could do before we played. Did you?
No, I just winged it. That's why I lose.
I just cast my eye over the 17 books I needed to look in to find all the information. I barely remembered any of it.
But it gave you at least an overview.
I felt more confident than just maybe... I'm still slightly wary of going to a big tournament and coming up against something I've never played before and having no idea what's going on. I remember playing my very first game of tournament Netrunner at a store championship, not at the charity event, because that was a bit slightly different, but sitting across from someone who is very well known, very well respected in that scene, who just started throwing cards down on the table and then nodded at me for it to be my go, and I'm like, I have no idea what you just did, mate. Because I've not played against this deck and I need to read all your cards, but we've only got a short time to play. And I was like, okay, mandatory draw. And so I'm feeling a bit like that with Malifaux. There's just so much to remember. It's so complicated. So I've quite liked knowing the schemes in advance, the strategies in advance, knowing the masters that people are going to be playing in advance, knowing what I'm going to be playing in advance, because I still don't feel super confident in just sort of turning up and going, oh, that scheme pool, that's a Von Schill scheme pool, or that's a Lilith scheme pool, or yes, I shall summon Sonia back from the flames, because I don't know,
it's too much.
Maybe it's getting old.
Possibly. I mean, it's not the only thing catching our attention.
No, we've been playing
if we only played Malifaux, it might be more manageable. But I think if I tried coming into it now, looking at all this stuff, I'd be put off it a little bit.
Would you be pushing now for Malifaux 3rd edition and a spit and a polish and a clean?
But you know how I don't like sort of banning and removing and just starting over again?
Yeah, I know you're...
No, I'd still want to play Malifaux 3.0.
Yeah?
I think it's just... I like the fact there's a lot of options there.
Yeah.
That's lovely, and I think it means there's something for everybody. But it's also getting too much to be able to actually be able to understand the game.
It's almost feeling like at the point now, the number of masters, the number of models, when they re-released it last time, there was stuff that had been out that didn't come out for like a year or almost 2.
Yeah.
So you had models that were just kind of sat there.
Yeah.
So if people out there have any suggestions, I mean, if you're dead set against a Malifaux 3.0 and you'd want to find us and kill us for suggesting it, let us know.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
if you've got any suggestions on either what could happen,
Yeah.
or if you've got suggestions on how to sort of tidy Malifaux up as it is and kind of find a halfway house where we're kind of maybe making it a bit more accessible. I think it's the accessibility issue to me.
Yeah.
More than anything. Then let us know. It'd be really interesting to hear whether our experience tallies with anyone else or whether we're just, wimps that need to get good. But I've really enjoyed playing these more limited tournaments.
Yes.
And it's starting to build my confidence. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. If you enjoyed that, please feel free to leave a like or even to subscribe. It really helps us out and it means we can keep making more of these, especially if you tell your friends who will think you're really cool for tuning them into the hippest cats on the block. Meow.
God.
Too much?
Again, unsubscribe.
Sometimes when I feel slightly anxious in social situations, I'll accidentally say the word groovy, like I'm in Scooby-Doo.
Or Austin Powers, which is even worse.
It comes from Evil Dead.
Yeah, it does.
It's where I picked it up from, but it's still incredibly uncool. So, and uncalled for. Like that pun. It made you choke on that one, Jesus. So, yeah, we'd love it if you shared us around. You can also find us on, you can find the podcast on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on any good RSS feed-based podcast distribution service of your choice. You can also listen along on YouTube, and we release gaming videos on a semi-regular basis on YouTube as well, so feel free to pop over. And you can come and chat to us on Facebook and on Twitter. And you can even visit criticaltwits.com.
Yay.
It's pretty. Yeah. Cool. So I've been Brian Ennis.
And I've been Aaron Ravinsky.
And I'm off to go and shake down some fools and rob them, inspired by Parker.
And I'm hoping to get buried because I'm very tired by Tara.
Excellent. So until next time, we'll catch you soon. Bye.
Bye.
I heard the nukes are falling, this is the world's end. I ain't seen civilization since I don't know when. And I'm stuck in Voltex prison, and time keeps dragging on. But the news keep exploding on my wasteland home. When I was just a baby, a raider told me, son, always follow Vault Boy, always play with guns. So I shot a man in New Reno with bats right in the eye. Then I set my Gatling spinning and watched the townsfolk die. Ha 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 ha! I bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy rat-free bar. They're probably drinking Nuka, eating Marlow caviar. Well, I've got nothing coming, and bottle caps ain't free. But my XP keeps me climbing up that skill perk tree. Well, if they freed me from the vault, if that right away was mine, I bet I would just be a little less inclined to die. Far from Voltex prison, that's where I wanna stay. And I'd let that lonesome mini nuke blow my blues away.